And welcome back. How are you? How you doing? Hope all is well. I'm the Doc Bob Lee from 107.5 WBLS, and you are watching Open. We thank you and appreciate you too. Our next guest is the founder and CEO of the Globetrotting Dominicana LLC, and she joins us to highlight her efforts in environmental protection and sustainable and responsible ecotourism, and so much more. She does it all. The last time we saw her, she was here about 13 years ago or so. So please welcome to the show, Milka Rodriguez. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
13 years ago.
Yes.
What were we doing back then?
I was starting out my career.
Uh-huh.
I had starting out my career in the environmental sector here in New York City in the environmental justice sector. I was working for Sustainable South Bronx, organizing their 5K run walk at the time.
Yeah. You know what? Although it was that long ago, I remember that. But then you decided to get into something a little different, or almost the same, but your own business.
Yeah, no, I've been, pretty consistent with working on projects that are related to environmental protection and community economic development here in primarily like in the New York City and New York State. But throughout the years, I've developed like my own interests and my own passions, and travel has definitely been one of those.
Yeah.
And so this company that I started, Globetrotting Dominicana, is inspired by me because I'm the Globetrotting Dominicana. I've been to over 25 different countries, many of which I've visited either through backpacking, solo travel, or sometimes like educational opportunities that I've been able to land, like internships or fellowships or scholarships.
Nope. And when you mention backpacking, what does it mean? Just travel light?
Travel light with like a light bag or a carry-on or with a book bag, like
everything that you need in a backpack.
Yeah, pretty much, or in a small carry-on, or just like a smaller suitcase, a bag, smaller
and you
bag.
do this for like a couple of days here, or a week here, a week here.
Yeah, I might spend like 10 days in one place, or I might spend like 6 days in one place, then move on to another country for 5 or 6 more days, and so on.
Yeah, how exciting is that?
It's very exciting. It teaches you a lot about yourself, both like being able to travel on your own, but also like educational opportunities for young people.
Yeah.
And I've been able to participate in various different opportunities that came my way when I was younger, because I was open to them as well. And so these different types of experiences, either doing volunteering in a different part of the country or an internship outside of New York State, or even landing maybe like a research fellowship in the Caribbean. I've also landed several just kind of like educational and cultural exchange programs. I've secured them in Latin America as well as in Spain. And just these different types of experience have really broadened my perspective as to what was possible for me as a Latina, as an immigrant, as someone who's kind of, a young person being raised in an urban area. Sometimes not necessarily knowing of all of the many different resources and opportunities that were available to me. And so during the height of the quarantine, I decided to start working on like my own company because travel is a passion of mine, and so is education. And I, like I said, I had started previously my career in environmental protection, and I've been in that for the most part. And I've dabbled in other things like community economic development and like human rights work, and been able to kind of, combine these things. And I created a youth climate travel program. It's for young people who want to travel abroad to the Dominican Republic, where I'm from, to get a decolonized and sustainable perspective of climate justice in a kind of like global South setting. I created this because there aren't that many opportunities, I feel, for young folks to see how things are being implemented abroad. And also because, a lot of the lessons that we get in academia are pretty much not written by people of color. A lot of these academic texts and scholarly papers are not reviewed by people of color. They're not written.
Just give it a different perspective.
Yeah, and I think a lot gets missed.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of examples of climate leadership in the global South. For example, Barbados has been a leader in solar water heating since the 1970s, for example. Wow. Nobody knows that.
And now we know. You just brought it to us.
Yes.
But that's why it's good for you to do the research and find out what these places are all about when you tour, so you can come back and educate our public and our community.
Yeah, definitely. And so that's why I created this program specifically for young people to be able to travel abroad. And these are different, like 8-day or 15-day exchanges. And they can be doing a variety of different projects, whether it's like hands-on projects, workshops, meetings, just so they can kind of like learn more.
How did it latch on to something like this?
My own experiences. I've participated in similar programs, or programs that had like a combination of both cultural and educational exchanges.
So you do the research, you seek
Yeah,
it out,
I
you say these are the programs that others get involved in, and how do they reach out to you to latch on to what you're doing?
So pretty much, yes, I did all the research. I contacted as many different scientists and university professors and nonprofit executive directors and community leaders in the Dominican Republic. And I pretty much interviewed all of them. And based on what I gathered, I then decided, like, drafted out different versions of what the program could look like in different regions of the country.
Beautiful.
Yes. And we provide sustainable tours for the general public because, you know, some people, it's really important to teach folks about like decolonized travel. And, you know, the educational program has a really strong focus on decolonizing, kind of like the educational component of climate. And because you don't really get those examples in your American curriculum, but like the other side of the company is focused more on just like tours for the general public. And these tours are pretty much teaching folks how to leverage the power of their American dollar to invest in communities abroad, while at the same time traveling well.
Decolonizing travel. Why is it called that?
So the reason why, right, when we think of travel, especially when you travel to a place like the Dominican Republic, the perspective is that it's mostly a place you go to for luxury resorts, which is, there's nothing wrong with the luxury resorts, but when you really disaggregate the data, most of the funds that are entering the company in the tourism, in the country in the tourism sector, never really make it to the local communities. A lot of those stay with like those large international chains.
So you get there and you find out how people are really living, aside from the tourism and how they portray it on TV or commercials.
Yeah, so these are pretty much resort-free tours. We stay at accommodations at other parts, other locations such as eco hotels, glamping spots, beachside resorts, mountain cabins, and there's even like treehouse hotels in the Dominican Republic. There's so many different types of accommodations that folks don't even know about. And folks don't know that there are so many ways that you can leverage the power of your American dollar to travel well while doing good. Yes.
What is this right here? I'm going to throw some pictures up here and tell me what it's about.
Yeah, so this is pretty much a picture just about our youth in climate and sustainability leadership training. So not only is it like exposing them to a variety of different environmental and economic development projects throughout the island and the places we visit, but it's also exposing them to like leadership training, you know, because I feel like you shouldn't have to wait until you're done with your college degree to learn what's your leadership style.
Yeah. How about this one here?
Yeah, so this is pretty much referring to our, we have a tour coming up for next year. It's a women's retreat, it's a nature retreat in the southwestern region of the Dominican Republic.
Some of the guys in the control room, they said, you know, we're going to see if we can latch onto some of these trips.
Yeah.
When you said women's retreat, I guess they could just watch from a distance, right?
Well, for this one, but we will be releasing more tours and retreats that are open to the public. This one specifically is for women. So these are like some examples of like the locations we'll be visiting and what's included. These are small private group tours, and these are pretty much customized to the dietary needs and also the preferences of our clients. And yeah, it's pretty much teaching them about what's in the island outside of the resorts and how you can leverage the power of your American dollar by investing in local businesses, local restaurants, many different types of local accommodations and artisans, and just like ecotouristic activities and businesses as well. There's much more to the Caribbean and also to the Dominican Republic than just luxury resorts.
And that's the 2025 LLC Profundo girls trip, right?
Yeah, so it's called El Sur Profundo, which is the southwestern region of the Dominican Republic. It's a region that hasn't been opened up to tourists in the way that Punta Cana or La Romana or Puerto Plata has. It's a region of the country that is in very pristine condition still. And you will find many unique sites such as deserts. The folks don't know that we have sand dunes and like a mini desert in the Dominican Republic.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of folks don't realize that we have a lot of endemic species that don't exist anywhere else in the world. And that's located in a biosphere that we share with Haiti. And
Yeah.
it's called the Jaragua, Bauruco, and Riquillo biosphere. We also have many beautiful aquatic hiking trails, and it's pretty much an aquatic hiking trail that flows through a river, and it's a river with crystalline blue water.
Wow.
We normally don't see rivers with crystalline blue water, and it really speaks to the really high quality of the water in that region of the country.
Yeah.
We also have award-winning beaches that you can only get to by boat because they're remote in that region of the country as well as. And so
You've
there's,
been there.
yeah, so
Yeah.
there's just like a lot of really.
And it's safe and everything?
Yeah, it's very safe, like I said, because we're doing small private group tours and they're customized and tailored to our clients. These are some pictures of some of the locations that we visit in our youth program. These are the 27 waterfalls of the Mahagua. We also would visit coral and mangrove restoration projects in Sosua, which is more in the northern region of the country. And it's a way for young folks to learn about like ocean protection and also like these are just fun activities so that they can be exposed to these concepts at a younger age. I don't believe that you should have to wait until you graduate from college to then start doing internships and to then start figuring out what you like and what you don't like. You should be able to utilize your time in high school and also as an undergraduate to really explore these things. And I feel like leadership training at a young age is extremely important for young folks. Especially now in this economy where a lot of Gen Zers are having a hard time finding jobs. I think that there needs to be more support and also just more opportunities for folks to learn what is beyond their community. You know, what is beyond the Bronx? What is beyond Washington Heights? What is beyond Brownsville and Brooklyn? I participated in a program similar to that, and it was a full scholarship. And we pretty much traveled through Panama, Nicaragua, and El Salvador, and we met with a wide range of different stakeholders, including like mayoral offices, and we did a homestay with the indigenous community, and we visited various different just like human rights organizations and so on and so forth. And it really broadened my mind as to what was possible for me, as well as many of my other kind of travel experiences. And I think these trips, regardless of whether it's just like a fun girls trip to the Southwest or a full educational program for young folks, really, I really feel that they're very enriching for people's lives.
Yeah, I think so.
And you
In a very
meet other
special way.
folks that maybe are further ahead, or other folks who maybe have relationships and connections, or who have a way of doing things that's very different from your own. And there's a lot that you can learn from other people. So it's definitely great for like expanding your network. It's definitely great for just exposure to what else is out there. And also one of the things that I've noticed is like young people who participate in these types of programs, when they hit the ground running when they go to college, and they hit the ground running when it's time to find a job. It's a lot easier for them. They have more confidence and they have a greater self-esteem as well.
Before we go, they're going to wrap us up. But you have the internship program, right? It's a paid internship?
Well, yes, we do
Program?
are currently looking for interns. I think we're coordinating with the Colin Powell School in CUNY. I think they pay them a minimum of $18 to help us with a variety of different community outreach activities, social media, and also market research. We have a workshop coming up this Friday on sustainable and decolonized travel in the Juan Pablo Duarte Foundation in Washington Heights. And we also organize sustainable meetups for travelers or folks who want to get more into traveling. We have one coming up on October 15th.
Beautiful.
And that one specifically we're going to go to apple picking in the Lower Hudson Valley.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one last thing is on October 17th, we're going to do a beach cleanup for young folks. So like if you know of any high schoolers that would be interested in participating, on a beach cleanup in Coney Island, and then we're going to do an educational exchange with the New York Aquarium as well.
I like it. Thank you for all
Yes.
that you do. Is this all on your website?
Yeah, it's all on my website. You can. Our website is globetrottingdominicana.net. You can also look us up on Instagram at Globetrotting Dominicana.
Thank you so much, Milka Rodriguez. All right. Milka Rodriguez, founder and CEO, Globetrotting Dominica LLC.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Dominicana, I meant to say.
Dominicana. Yeah.
We appreciate you. Come back again, all right? Thanks
Yeah,
for
for
sharing.
sure.
It's been
Yeah.
wonderful. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more Open coming up next.